So let down your golden hair for days.
I didn't hear you. The witch got the tower new replacement windows from Renewal by Andersen.
Didn't you wonder where I was?
Not really. My new windows are very energy efficient, keeping my tower very comfortable, and they have greatly reduced the noise levels.
What noise? You live in a forest.
Well, a certain needy prince is constantly yelling my name.
Do you not love me anymore?
Oh, quit being so dramatic.
Dramatic? Moi?
Yes, and Renewal by Andersen exclusively offers gorgeous ensemble security doors, safe and durable.
Do they?
You should get them for the castle along with new Acclaim replacement windows.
If I do, will you marry me?
Let's not rush it. And Prince Charming, get the windows for you, not me.
Oh, wait. Windows. For me?
Does your castle need new windows? Discover Acclaim windows and ensemble entry doors, custom fit and exclusive to Renewal by Andersen. Free consultations. Visit RBARapidCity.com.
At Highmark Credit Union, we are big sports fans, and even bigger fans of our teachers. That's why we offer debit cards featuring our local high school mascots on the front. These cards are awesome, and every time you use your card, Highmark makes a donation to the school activity clubs. Highmark has donated over $5,000 locally to Rapid City and Douglas schools. So make the smart money move, show your school spirit, and open an account at Highmark. Visit highmarkfcu.com.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
No.
News just in from the NBA, and the Philadelphia 76ers will be without forward Paul George for the rest of the season, as ESPN reports that George recently received injections in his injured knee and in his left adductor muscle. He's expected to miss at least 6 weeks of action. Sixers right now on the outside looking in of the play-in tournament in the Eastern Conference. Mavericks forward Anthony Davis has been recalled from his G League stint after just one practice. He's trying to return from an adductor strain that's kept him out more than a month. Houston Texans send corner Derek Stingley Jr. to a 3-year extension worth $90 million, $89 million of that guaranteed, as Stingley becomes the highest-paid defensive back in NFL history. Free agent quarterback Jameis Winston visiting with the Giants tomorrow, while Rory McIlroy won the rain-delayed Players' Championship by defeating J.J. Spawn in a 3-hole playoff. Iona fired men's basketball coach Tobin Anderson. I'm Dan Beyer.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, welcome in on a great Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. It's always a great day in South Dakota. You got that there's our motto. It's great across the board. I appreciate you being a part of the program. Welcome in on this Monday. South Dakota Sports Talk Show is back live on Fox Sports Radio across South Dakota. Welcome in the Nate Brown Show. Also stream us right now on X. You can find us at Nate Brown Show. Watch the show live on your phone, computer, however you want to pull us up. Follow us on X, the app we're streaming now, at Nate Brown Show, and on YouTube right now as well, The Nate Brown Show. Find the YouTube channel. You got us if you're a YouTube person, The Nate Brown Show there. Monday edition of the program ready. A lot of basketball talk. You know that. Maybe a touch of football, maybe, but it's March Madness time. I mean, this is high school hoops. It's college hoops. We got a lot to cover tonight. A great guest lineup. We'll get you on the show. Question of the day. Let's pop it around a little bit. The Nate Brown Show live, and our guest lineup is brought to you by Forever Lawn of South Dakota. This is the time to take a look at this company. If you've thought about better grass for the dogs, better landscape, not as much maintenance, not as much work, all of that stuff. Great for the environment. Get this stuff. Forever Lawn of South Dakota, ready to install on both sides of the state. So just Google them. Forever Lawn in South Dakota, ready for spring and summer. They can get you in landscape grass, golf greens, canine grass specific for dogs, sports grass, turf fields, top notch, playground grass for the kids. Take a look at the Forever Lawn artificial grass lineup for you. If you're on a school board, if you're on a sports facility project, this is the place. Google them, Forever Lawn in South Dakota, and get started on their 2025 lineup, and they'll put it in this summer. Forever Lawn guest lineup tonight. Here it is. Kerry Miller's on. We're going to get a national college basketball writer, Kerry Miller, Really, really good. National college writer. He's in tonight from the Bleacher Report. All right, the Bleacher Report. Kerry Miller. Going to take a look at the bracket. It's one of those things. This is a big story. I'm going to get to that later when it comes to the NCAA bracket. We'll get to him, Kerry Miller, because there was history made with the NCAA bracket if you didn't know. Okay, so history made with the men's side, and then we will get to the women's side. Matt Zimmer's going to join us. He's covering the Jacks. Jackrabbit women get a great opportunity. They're in the tournament. They deserve it. 29 wins. They might have had their best season as far as tournament seed-wise, and they get the 10 seed. So a lot of people think, Jacks women, what can they do? They played Texas. They played Duke. Now, I know they got beat. Rough game against Texas specifically. Lost to Georgia Tech. Those are the only 3 losses. Matt Zimmer is going to talk Jackrabbit women's basketball. They get set. If they win Saturday, they're going to have to play more than likely Paige Beckers and UConn, Gino Auriemma. That'll be something. Matt Zimmer is coming up. Sioux Falls Live. We will go to Sioux Falls O'Gorman tonight. Head coach Kent Kulsrud on tonight. O'Gorman has not lost in 2 years, and they somehow pulled it out Saturday night at the Monument in Rapid City. I thought the AA tournament was a lot of fun to watch. I watched a lot of the games. Kent Kulsrud, O'Gorman girls basketball coach on tonight, and Mike Hendrickson is in as well. South Dakota sports broadcaster, longtime broadcaster, now he's still in the mix. He's not covering the state tournaments. Watching from afar, we'll get his thoughts on the high school hoops this past weekend. Mike Hendrickson on. So a packed show. The Nate Brown Show is on. 605-720-1067 is the Barron's Wilson text line. Best way to get in touch with us there. Text the show. 605-720-1067. We'll get your text. We'll try and get those on the air. Okay, really easy start to the show today, okay? Really easy start to the show. And there's a couple of problems. I'm not creating the problems, but there's a couple of problems here, and one jumps out to me. So let's start with the Class A state title game. There is not a problem with the support, the passion, the unbelievable atmosphere at Black Hill State Saturday night. I mean, I wish that that's all that people were talking about. I posted this Saturday or Sunday morning. I think it was Sunday morning. I said, I was up early. I said, what a crowd across the board at the Class A tournament. Class B, AA was pretty good. Stevens got beat Friday. That dropped the crowd, I think, Saturday night for the championship night a little bit. But it was good support across the board for high school girls basketball. The Class B tournament packed at the Huron Arena. The Class A title game, Mapia-Luta and Sioux Falls Christian, was overflowing. I mean, it was sold out. They had to overflow the crowds. So that's where I wish people were saying, what an unbelievable atmosphere. I mean, I love to see the support. And then you say, well, it's not all roses. It's not, it's not all just everything's great. I understand. But I wanted to start the show with that high school girls basketball, the passion, the support, the crowds, the energy, the coverage. I'm going to tell you, I can't quite remember maybe it being this good, and it might have been coming down to the 1-point games in the AA and the 1-point game in the Class A. That might have been the deal, too. So it just all came together perfectly. But I think girls basketball has grown. I think this, we talk about some of the participation numbers that have fallen. Well, maybe as many girls aren't playing. There's something going on there. But I'm telling you, the level of play, the coverage, the support, there was a ton of passion, and I love seeing the sellout crowds. I mean, that was just unbelievable. Now, let's get to the scenario that people are talking about, and I'm wondering which version of the story you guys got. This is how I start the show today. So I do a 2-hour radio show, and you have to try and be accurate. I mean, I'm going to screw things up, too. It happens. But I really try and work through it. Matt Kearney and myself, we work through, take a look at situations. What's real? What's not? Where's the emotion? What's the real story? What's the rule? What's this? And There's so many versions of the story of the Class A girls basketball game going on. I'm wondering what version you have on this Monday. Do you have the version that there should have been a technical foul and Mapia Luta should have shot after the game was over and to win? Do you have the version that the storming of the court, should have not had the medals and trophy awarded? Is that your version? I mean, what version of the story do you have? My job is, let's look at really the scenario. Let's look at the scenario, and I'm trying to be objective here. I was into that game Saturday night. I was like, man, I saw the Mapia Luta comeback, and what a season they had. I know Coach Rama well. I think he's done a great job. Love Coach Rama. Matt Rama's done an outstanding job at Mapia Luta, boys' side, girls' side. So great history there. And I'm looking at it. I know I had some passion. I'm watching this game, and boy, what a tough deal for Mapia Luta at the end. What a tough deal. Sioux Falls Christian gets the offensive board. 1.6 seconds. They put it back up. They win. And here's where the story starts. Sioux Falls Christian won the game at the final buzzer. Then the students stormed the court. So the students stormed the court. And here's my number one problem after that happened. There was this AI-generated post where you can just put stuff in, right? We all do it. Hey, you're looking up something on Google, whatever it is. Should there be a technical foul if students storm the court in South Dakota? And the AI-generated just pulls from all these sources, and they say, oh, there could have been a technical foul. There could be a technical foul if the court is stormed and that. And that AI-generated post, which is not accurate, went like wildfire. And it's not just a sports problem. This is a society problem. I mean, how many times have you seen something on your phone, social media post, and you say, well, that can't be right. And then it's our responsibility to actually find out what is right. But the problem with misinformation, the misinformation goes, and it goes like warp speed. It goes warp speed. And then you can't put it back in. You can't get it back under control. So I'm telling you, there is no technical foul rule in South Dakota high school activities after the game where a team could have shot free throws. That's not the case. So that version of the story that went like wildfire on social media, here's the problem with it. It goes so quickly, and that narrative goes so quickly, then people take that into today. And if you're not listening to this show or you're not following up on the Activities Association and really what the story is, you're not seeing the real deal. You're not seeing it, okay? So the real deal is it's not a technical foul, but the real policy is what? That if the students storm the court, there should not be medals and the awards ceremony for that team. That is an Activities Association policy. So that is a correct version of the story. But the previous one, where the game is still in doubt and there should have been a technical foul and free throw shot, that is not a policy. And so you're trying to get everything, what's true, what's not, and this thing went off the rails quickly. And people are still going to take the narrative that they hope or that they want because they're really rooting for Mapia Luta as well. I would have loved to see that. What a season for those kids. I mean, I think they were just outstanding. But the story is now the Activities Association has apologized for not following their policy of awarding the medals and the trophy to Sioux Falls Christian because the students stormed. The policy says don't award it. They did. The Activities Association released a statement apologizing today for that mistake, but not the technical foul. That's false. Thanks for calling. You're live today, and you go ahead.
Hey, Nate, Jim. Thanks for taking my call.
Jim, what do you say?
I think there should be a thing in place, just like in college basketball, where if they storm the courthouse there at W, they get fined. The school gets fined huge. So it should be something big, a technical foul, or school should be fined or something.
Okay, you think there should be. Well, I mean, that's your opinion. I mean, colleges are fining, conferences are fining colleges. I don't know how you could do that to schools, but no, I get it. I appreciate you, Jim. Thanks for getting on. And that's the next thing. Now you can ask the question, should there continue to be a court-storming policy from the Activities Association here in South Dakota? Should there be a policy, no court storming, and if you do, you're not going to get the awards, you're not going to get the medals and that thing. That's the policy. But that's my question of the day. It's not, oh, well, it should be this, a technical foul, and that was a wrong post. This is the world we live in. Something goes like wildfire. I saw it just like you Saturday night, and people were talking about it to me Sunday morning at 8 a.m. I was at a tournament, a youth tournament. People were talking to me Sunday morning at 8 a.m. So what about this? What about that? Should have been a technical, this and that. And that's not the case. So I'll ask you about the court storming piece. I think the court storming piece gets over, like that overshadows an unbelievable game by Mapia Luta and Sioux Falls Christian, for that matter. I really do. I think the game had an unbelievable atmosphere. So much passion, so much good play. I thought the officials did, as best they could. Nobody's ever going to be on their side. Right? I mean, nobody's there. So people that complain about this call and that call, and that's sports. You'll hear that till the end of time. So you're not going to solve that. But Matt Rama's doing an outstanding job building up that program. He's had that program going and had success on the boys' side, now the girls' side. Instead of people focusing on the great season and game, we're focusing on an AI-generated misinformation post that got going too much. And now the court-storming debate can be a debate. That can be a debate if you want. Should there be a policy like the Activities Association has, no court storming, otherwise no medals, no trophy for the winning team? The Activities Association has that policy. They made the mistake because they just kind of let that go. That didn't determine or impact the outcome of the game. That's where I'm at today. Okay? I just want to try and be objective and take some emotion out of it. It's an emotional thing Saturday night. Chaotic scene Saturday night. I think it was just a celebration that went, pretty fast and furious there for Sioux Falls Christian. A celebration there, and the students storming the court. You can now debate, does that policy still need to be in place? Does it need to be even stricter? How do you enforce it? Is it a policy that's going to help the safety of the players and the participants and the officials on the floor? The Activities Association put this policy in because they're trying to do a safety thing. I mean, they're trying to have a consequence that the team gets no medals, trophy that, like, out there on the floor, they get them later. Yet I'm always one that thinks, should the players get punished for their student body behavior? I mean, you tell me. The players put in all this effort, and I love the student body being passionate, excited, the whole thing, as long as they're not being whack jobs. Okay? But I love the passion and the whole thing, but should the players and the team get punished for students storming the court? This is the debate I'm willing to have, and I think the Activities Association can have that if people want to have that. Not about a technical foul and misinformation and this. That thing went like wildfire, and we got to bring it back. Let's see here. What do you say? Do you think the court storming policy should stay in place in South Dakota? Hit us on the text line. We don't have a lot of time for calls today, but hit us on the text line if you can, and we got to get to our next guest. We got a lot to discuss. I'll talk more about this with Mike Henriksen as well. South Dakota High School court storming policy. Is it something that should be continued for safety reasons? What do you say? Keep the court storming policy. Got to have some some rules there, or no, it's hard to enforce anyway. What would you say about that? I don't have an easy answer. I try and give my honest opinion on this. Do I want to see a bunch of students storm the court in a really emotional night? I don't. I don't really want to see that. Do I want to take the fun out of celebrations and student bodies and classmates and some fun there? Well, I don't either. But it's a tough one for me because sometimes the fun for one team can be rubbing it in the face of another. And if you got students out there with players out there from the opposing team and other fans, we've got a world these days where there's a lot of dust-ups at basketball games, at whatever. There's a lot of dust-ups when people have emotion flying high. And you couldn't get more emotional on Saturday night in that game at a one-point buzzer-beater loss. So this is a tough one. People say, oh, just have fun. Let's let the kids storm the court. Just have fun like we used to. Well, there's a reason the Activities Association, I think, put that rule in place. Did something happen? I've been here a long time. I don't remember the specifics of why we stopped the court storming, and then we let, wait, award ceremony. Now the students come out. And it is a little anticlimactic, right? You wait 15 minutes. Then now you can come out and celebrate. I get it. It's a tough one. Listener text, yes, storm the court. Please, storm the court. Okay. I understand. Listener text, people are upset because a rule was broken and nothing was done about the rule being broken. Yeah, so I get that. The Activities Association, they came out. Dan Swartos was there Saturday night. He came out and said, that was my mistake. He did not follow the policy of the court storming, and Sioux Falls Christian got their trophy, got their medals, and the whole thing. Now, I will say, the students of Sioux Falls Christian didn't stay on the floor like forever. So I will say that. It was a court storming. I don't know how many got out there. I watched it 3 times today. We went and rewatched it just to make sure what we're seeing. They got out there, and they got off pretty quickly because the administrators got in there. And so I don't think it was a total disaster, and it didn't impact the outcome of the game. I think we have to keep that in perspective, most importantly. Great seasons by both teams. What an atmosphere. I wish we weren't talking about policies and things like that. It didn't impact the game. Question of the day, I'd like to see what you think, though. 51% of you say scrap the court storming policy in South Dakota. It's hard to enforce. 51%. 49% vote tonight. Keep the court storming policy. You can't have that. As tight as it gets. As tight as it gets on our poll tonight. More on this later. We'll switch into NCAA mode. Let's take a breather. March Madness starting up. Kerry Miller's the national college basketball writer covering the tournament for the Bleacher Report, and he's live next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Transform your home in one weekend with paint from Menards. Get a paint that combines durability and gorgeous color. Dutch Boys Forever Interior Paint and Primer in One offers powerhouse protection with its stain-blocking, odor-reducing technology. Refresh your home today with Dutch Boy Paint. Get a gallon on sale now through March 23rd. View our entire selection of Dutch Boy Paint at Menards.com. Plus the weekly flyer and other great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Home really is the place to be. Landscapes by Forever Lawn can give your home the lush, natural grass appearance you expect without the work. Our premium materials and construction create a low-maintenance experience of transformational beauty and exceptional wear performance, allowing you time to enjoy your family and friends. Call 605-831-9026 or Google Forever Lawn in South Dakota. With dealerships on both sides of the state, we're ready to help you make one of the best upgrades you could add to your home sweet home. Forever Lawn in South Dakota.
Ready to be part of something big? Meet the Rapid City Sports Commission, the powerhouse behind sports in Rapid City. The commission focuses on bringing regional and national tournaments, supporting homegrown events, and creating opportunities for our kids. But it's not just games, it's a win-win for all of us. Youth sports fuel our economy. Hosting events in Rapid City means out-of-town families shop, dine, and stay with us, which boosts sales tax revenues too. To get in on the action, visit rcsportscommission.com, where we're all about the hustle.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. A winter weather advisory begins at 9 a.m. tomorrow and remains in effect until midnight tomorrow night. Mainly cloudy skies tonight with a slight chance of snow. Lows around 32, northeasterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. High of 37 tomorrow, snow likely. 3 to 5 inches of snow tomorrow through tomorrow night. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 54 degrees.
Win a brand new car when you play at Tin Lizzy Gaming Resort this month. We've got a 2024 Chevy Trax from Queen City Motors, and it's ready to go to the lucky winner of our Easy Street Grand Prize drawing. Getting entered to win is so easy. We'll give you one free entry every day you come in and play with your Clubhouse card. Then get an additional entry for every 100 points you earn. The drawing will be held March 29th, so get in today and start earning entries to win a brand new Chevy Trax. It's all happening at Tin Lizzy Gaming Resort, located on historic Main Street in Deadwood.
You want trucks? We've got trucks at Danny Menno Rapid Chevrolet. Shop our largest selection of new Chevy HD trucks in years. 18 2500s, 15 3500s, gas, diesel, and dualies. All with our exclusive $1,500 Danny Menno discount. Plus, get factory cash rebates or financing as low as 3.9% APR for 60 months. The trucks you want are at Danny Menno Rapid Chevrolet or DannyMennoRapidChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. 1837 per 1,000 finance regardless of down with qualified credit. Expires 3/31/25.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. With today's home values, right now could be a great time to sell your home. The Black Hills housing market is competitive, and I would love to help you get top dollar for your home. I have been selling real estate and attracting buyers in Rapid City for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. If you're thinking of selling your current home, let me put my expertise to work for you. Just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker. List it, sell it, and move on. With me, David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk show.
It is South Dakota Sports Talk Show. From high school to college to the pros, trying to get you covered across the board. Thanks for being here. The Nate Brown Show live, Fox Sports Radio. Stream us right now on X, at Nate Brown Show. If you're on X, find us there, follow the show, at Nate Brown Show, and then be part of the program there. We'll talk to Matt Zimmer coming up on the Jackrabbit women's side. Jackrabbit women get the number 10 seed. What do you think about that? They're 29-3. Just been rolling. Matt Zimmer's coming up, Sioux Falls Live. Kerry Miller's in tonight. He's your go-to guy, Bleacher Report, college basketball writer. He just put out his power rankings for the 68 teams. So if you want to fill out your bracket, which you do, you got to go find Kerry Miller, Bleacher Report, the 68-team power ranking. But why not get him on the Nate Brown Show tonight? Kerry, good to have you. How are you?
Hey, guy. I'm doing all right. How are you?
Doing good, man. Appreciate your time, as always. It's tournament time, and I want to get your read right away. What do you say about the SEC, the record-setting 14 out of 16 teams? Did you see that coming?
Yeah, we knew it was a possibility for sure. I mean, heading into league play, I forget what exactly the conference went as a whole, something like 185 and 23 or something like that. A lot of really good wins, and we knew they were just going to be handing quad one wins back and forth. So even 2 months ago, 13 felt likely, even though it was kind of crazy to say at the time, but was pretty surprised to see Texas in, and somewhat comfortably in, as the fourth to last team in. They were my first team out. I thought what they did in the SEC tournament, they got enough quality wins to certainly be in the conversation, but man, I feel like it sends a bad message that you can lose 66% of your league games and play nobody in the non-conference, but that's enough if you're in the best conference ever. It's kind of silly.
Okay, so you said Texas should have been out. Is it a bad look just for the tournament in general to have pretty much an entire conference in? That's never happened.
Yeah, it does feel like we're going to the college baseball route here. I mean, I'm not a college baseball guy at all, but I know that's pretty much SEC nonstop. But this is where we're headed, right? With the mega conferences, we only have 5 power leagues anymore. And I mean, if North Carolina hadn't been that last team in, the ACC was a 3-bid league. The Big East was a 4/5 bid league with Xavier as that last team in. So, the bid's got to come from somewhere. I would argue it'd be great if they came from, the likes of the Missouri Valley and the Big West. But man, where Drake and UC San Diego got seeded, if they had lost in their conference tournaments, they were getting left out with 29 wins. I think we've, if you go back and look at the old RPI days, right, a lot of those teams, your Drakes, your VCUs, your UC Irvines, like, they would have been good at-large candidates, all top 40 in the RPI, but these new metrics are built for the big boys, and there's no room for the small guys anymore.
Kerry Miller on tonight, national college basketball writer, The Bleacher Report, his 68-team power rankings out. Good stuff. I checked it out. North Carolina gets in. That's the other controversy. Bubba Cunningham, the AD's on the committee. He recuses himself. People don't buy that, Kerry. I mean, nobody's going to be able to say anything, but they're going to say he has influence anyway. How do we explain North Carolina? Or is it one of those, North Carolina, they played Duke tight. They played some teams. Why not?
Yeah, so I had North Carolina as my last team in, and it was entirely conspiracy theory based, mostly based on the fact that we always see a controversial ACC team get in, and now this year you had the selection committee chairman was the AD of that controversial team. They can point to, North Carolina was 8-0 in Quad 2, and they had 16 wins against the top 3 quads or whatever. They didn't get it done. They went 1-12 in Quad 1. They don't deserve to be in the field, but I had a hunch it was going to happen. I was kind of jokingly texting with one of my bracketologist friends that I bet they had and I said this before the reveal or before the selection show, I bet they made the Bubba compromise of 2025, and that you can be the last team in, but if Memphis blows that bid, you're out. And that's exactly what ended up being the case.
Okay, very interesting. You talked about the metrics now favor the big dogs. Explain how you think this goes for the fans that are like, okay, how is this going?
Yeah, I mean, so now there are more metrics. I mean, 10 years ago, it was just RPI. Like, I did the mock committee a decade ago, and I remember at the time I was arguing for Gonzaga, and I was talking about margin of victory and how well they play. They're like, all that matters is who you beat, where you beat them. Like, the stuff that we focus on now with KenPom and scoring margin and all this stuff wasn't a thing before, but now it is, and it rewards the teams that can, blow out subpar competition. It rewards the teams who get to play all these Quad 1 games over and over again, because you look through stuff like strength of record and wins above bubble. No matter what a Drake did all season long, it was never going to be worth as much as the best win that a Texas could get. It's just the game feels rigged now that a 30-win team is getting seeded below multiple 30-win teams were seeded below a 17 and 15 SEC team that didn't beat anybody in the top 100 in non-conference play.
Yeah, so you're basically saying these smaller conferences, these mid-majors, the bids aren't going to grow. They're just going to get their one, call it good, and then if you're in even a pretty good conference, Mountain West, you might get 3 or 4. Give me your read on the best number 1 seed right now. Best number 1 seed for you.
I mean, I know everybody's in love with Florida. I still have my questions about their defense. I believe they've given up 81 points in regulation 9 times this season. Neither Duke nor Houston has done that once all season. I think those are the 2 best teams, assuming Cooper Flagg is healthy. I don't think there was any good reason for John Shire to risk playing him in that ACC tournament. They were already locked in as the 1 seed in the East region. I think maybe he could have played if they felt like they needed it. Maybe he will be perfectly fine for the dance. If he's compromised in any way, I think maybe Houston is the team to beat.
Okay, Kerry Miller, a couple more. I'll let him run. National college basketball writer, Bleacher Report, where you can find him. Hey, how about Rick Pitino, Carrie? St. John's, a 2 seed. They're really good on D. How does Rick Pitino, I guess, do this wherever he goes, it appears? Takes a program, gets them top-notch. What does Rick Pitino do? And St. John's is now one of the highest seeds.
Yeah, amazingly, in his second season every year, right? I think he's had at least a 700 winning percentage in year 2, every stop of his career. Let me run away from my barking dog here for a second. But, yeah, it's been an incredible, little redemption story. I think some of us aren't as enamored with Pitino, with the way he left in shame at Louisville and had to rebuild himself. But I guess he's done his time and certainly has proven he's an unbelievable coach. That was never in question. I think he's maybe one of the 3 or 4 best to ever do it. But I do have a question about St. John's. They haven't played a single net top 25 team this season. I don't know what they're going to look like when they run into a team like Houston or Auburn, because we haven't seen it. I mean, the toughest team they faced was Marquette, and that was after all 3 of their games against Marquette were February 1st and onward, which was after the point where Marquette started to just crash and burn and looked nothing like they did early in the season. So very good defensive team that doesn't shoot well, and we haven't seen them play anybody. So they are quite a variable, and probably going to run into John Calipari or Bill Self in the second round. Quiet, dog.
There's a lot of Summit League fans around here. South Dakota State's been the rep there, but it's Omaha. Omaha's playing St. John's. A lot of people think Omaha is really, really good this season. Is that on the radar or not?
Yeah, I mean, I think if they had gone to literally any other pod, it would have felt more plausible. But for Chris Crutchfield to be in there against Pitino, Calipari, and Self is quite brutal of the committee to do. But, yeah, I mean, they were a 5-win team both of the 2 seasons before he took that job. Now they're a 22-win double Summit League champion. I mean, they're fun. Everybody's going to be rooting for them. They want to see those trash cans getting smashed, but I don't think anybody really thinks they're going to pull it off.
Can you give me 2 upsets, 2 or 3? I don't know if you have any big ones. Are there any big ones on the board today?
I don't see any 14s, 15s, or 16s pulling it off. I do think we could see definitely High Point over Purdue. Everybody pointed to that one like the second the bracket was announced. People were even saying it before it was announced. Like when it started showing up in bracketology predictions, people were all over that potential upset. And I think Yale against Texas A&M, a team that just does not shoot well at all. Yale's biggest problem is they allow a lot of three-pointers, but Texas A&M can't make three-pointers. So I think the Bulldogs could do it again. This would be their third first-round upset as either a 12 or a 13 seed in the last, whatever it would be. I guess the first one was 2016, and then they got another one last year.
All right, you go Yale, Texas A&M, you go High Point, Purdue, a couple of 13s over a 4. Follow him at Carrance James. He's on Twitter there. Bleacher Report, his 68 team power rankings out. The first 4 starts tomorrow. Kerry Miller on tonight. Kerry, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it.
You got it. Take care, Nate.
Appreciate it. Kerry Miller on the Nate Brown Show on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. National college basketball writer. He'll be covering the tournament for the Bleacher Report, their number one college basketball guy. Good stuff. Kerry Miller on tonight, getting us started with the brackets. I haven't picked my bracket yet. Just take it easy. It's Monday. We got it's a reaction Monday, and then we'll start digging here. But I wanted Kerry's early look. He says Yale over Texas A&M. And High Point over Purdue. Those are 13s over 4s. Can Omaha mix it up with St. John's? Omaha's got Rick Pitino and St. John's. Well, that would be interesting. That would be interesting. I'm interested to watch this. It'll be a good tournament. Good tournament. I've watched a lot of college basketball this season, but it's really, really tough when it comes to tournament time. Who's gonna beat who? It is just impossible. It's absolutely impossible. Have some fun with brackets. Tomorrow, we'll have Lee Sterling on, Paramount Sports, one of the top handicappers in the country. So if you're looking for best bets, that's the route he's going to go. Lee Sterling on the Nate Brown Show tomorrow. Back to the South Dakota high school sports scene. Mike Hendrickson's had a long experience broadcasting high school state tournaments. What does he think of the Class A girls scenario? and how it played out. Mike Henriksen, longtime South Dakota sports broadcaster, live next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Our locally owned Ace stores are committed to helping our neighbors and our communities. And because we're in the neighborhood, we can deliver almost anything you need. So shop in store or online for whatever your home or yard needs. Choose from top brands like Milwaukee, Steel, Traeger, and Benjamin Moore. Then pick up in-store, curbside, or we'll deliver your order right to your home. Around the block, what you need in stock, with people who know how to help. See acehardware.com for details.
Hey, Sioux Falls sports fans, there's a great new sports bar in Sioux Falls, Boston's Restaurant and Sports Bar on West Russell Street in the Ramada Water Park Hotel. If you want to watch games, UFC, they've got it, wall-to-wall TVs, and the best part, great food. Gourmet pizza at Boston's, tons of wing options, great burgers, and a lot more. Bring the family, bring the team, bring your crew to the new Boston's Restaurant and Sports Bar in Sioux Falls on West Russell Street. Plus, you can order online for lunch or dinner. Just go to bostons.com.
Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is everywhere you need us to be. On the sidelines, supporting our local athletes, at our clinic locations throughout the region, and at our Ortho Express walk-in clinic when you don't have time to wait. We're here when you need us, working as a team to make your comeback stronger than ever. Getting stronger, getting better, getting you back to your best self. The life of an athlete has its uncertainties, wins and losses, injury and recovery. In the Black Hills area, athletes can always count on Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, here for whatever moves you.
We're bringing Music City to you. Get ready for Nashville Night on March 22nd at the Box Elder Event Center. The kicks off at 7 p.m. with the talented Jessica Luby, followed by the high-energy Velvet Rodeo. Put on your boots and get ready to dance. Plus, test your skills on the mechanical bull.
Hold on tight, honey. You got it.
And enjoy Nashville hot chicken sandwiches.
Yeehaw!
Tickets are just $20 in advance or $25 at the door. Get your tickets now at thebox.live. Don't miss out on the country event of the year.
Being in business has its rewards as well as its challenges. It means being the first one in the door in the morning and turning off the lights when you leave at night. Your business is unique, and you need a bank that understands your needs. You deserve the best. You need a financial partner that is invested in your success. You need Pioneer Bank and Trust. Don't settle. Pioneer. Pioneer Bank and Trust. Local.
Pioneer Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear. Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
Winter has us all looking for a warm place to land. While your vehicle gets left out in the cold, even when garaged, there's a list of cold weather related issues like cold engine start damage, batteries, or frozen suspension. This is Martin from Al's D&I Repair. If you're hearing noises or maybe something just feels off, it may not be a ghost, but it could be a warning. Give us a call. We'll find the issue before it leaves you stranded. Most vehicles, most years, and most countries. Al's D&I can fix them. Check in at Al's D&I or online at alsdniautorepair.com.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Brown Show. Glad you're a part of it. Appreciate you making this show possible across South Dakota. Matt Zimmer's coming up, Sioux Falls Live. We'll talk Jacks women's basketball. They got the number 10 seed. I don't know if that's a good deal. I think there's a bigger story there with college basketball these days. We'll see. Matt Zimmer's on his take. The Jacks women play Oklahoma State coming up Saturday. Kent Colesroot's coming up tonight. Sioux Falls O'Gorman, head girls coach. They haven't lost a game in 2 years. How about that? That's unbelievably hard in basketball. You usually have a bad night, a rough shooting night, whatever it is. They slipped by Brandon Valley in the final seconds Saturday at the Monument in Rapid City. What a double-A run for Coach Colesroot. He'll be coming up. Mike Hendrickson's in. We'll talk some South Dakota State tournament basketball with longtime South Dakota broadcaster Mike Hendrickson on the Pizza Ranch hotline. Mike, how are you?
Great.
Hang on, Mike. I got a bad connection. I hope I still have you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Now you're better. I just fixed it. Stay wherever you're at. Okay, stay wherever you're at.
I'm standing here.
All right, let's see if we can make this work. You're breaking up just a touch. Let's see if we can make it work. Otherwise, we'll try it again. So let me get your read on the State A Girls Basketball Championship. I started my show with it, and I said this. What an unbelievable atmosphere. That's what I wanted to. That's what I want people to know: the passion, the atmosphere, the energy, the great teams, Mapia Luta and Sioux Falls Christian. I think that's the story. But now something happens, court storming, and we know how things go. Then things go like wildfire, and then that becomes a big talking point. So I said, I got to be objective on this. I would love for people to just realize how great that was Saturday, but I know a lot of emotion is in on this. So let me start with this. The court storming policy of the Activities Association, I'm to the question today, is this policy still needing to be in place for safety, and I have a hard time with this, or is it unenforceable? Is it hard to enforce? Where do you stand on it?
Nate, first of all, hopefully you have me.
I do.
Okay, good. I moved and I'm outside now. First of all, it was put in about 12 to 14 years ago, and it is strictly for liability. That's why it was put in. I thought it sucked the life out of post-game celebrations, but I'm not paying the insurance bill. From that standpoint, however, in those 12 to 14 years, dozens of high school kids have not stormed the court. They have been able to restrain themselves, or better yet, there have been administrators from the local schools who have been in position to stop them from storming the court. That was one of the things I saw from Sioux Falls Christian, watching that tape that Matt Kearney put up online. I see no one from Sioux Falls Christian standing in front of that crowd telling them to get back. And I think it falls on them as much as anything that they've been the only crowd that we've had this discussion with.
Okay, do you think, here's what I said, the court storming story is kind of overshadowing the game, and that did not, the court storming doesn't impact the game. And there was an AI-generated post that said there should have been a technical and there should have been free throws. That's not correct, and it went like wildfire. What can we learn from this?
Yeah, that's a great point. No, and speaking of, discussions online, it was very nice to get lectured by several people as to what I should have been doing for my job for 46 years as a broadcaster. But that aside, AI is going to have those issues, but I know for a fact I was sitting there watching the game, and I said immediately to my wife, well, there goes their championship trophy awards in public.
Yeah.
It doesn't change the outcome. It doesn't change the fact that much of the state fell in love with Mapia Luta. I mean, what a relentless basketball team. But I worried, and I was correct, that half the, that a bunch of the folks in the state would talk about the big city private school getting preference, would talk about, that somehow race was involved here. None of those things were true. It was a great basketball game between two incredible basketball teams. I mean, it was just a grind of a game, and it just so happened that the last rebound went to Sioux Falls Christian. They score it. And heartbreaking, obviously, for the Crusaders, but at the same time, an incredible for the ages ending.
Yeah, no doubt. Mike Hendrickson on, longtime South Dakota sports broadcaster, wanted his perspective on the Mapia-Luta Sioux Falls Christian State A final. Came down to the final play. A lot of emotion there. So I've asked my audience, should there continue being a court-storming policy? I think there should be, but I'm with you. I see, 15 minutes after the fact, now you let the students celebrate with their classmates. We want students to have fun. We want celebrations to be fun and spontaneous, but that sometimes turns into bad sportsmanship. I have a tough time with this. What do you think? I think they're going to keep this policy in place. What do you think of the policy?
I think they have to keep the policy in place. Again, I am not a fan of it. I understand why it is, but let's give one other hat tip to the folks who were involved, and that was the crew at Black Hills State. First of all, that was an incredible atmosphere for a state tournament. Second of all, the folks that were working security at Black Hills State got that situation under control in a heartbeat.
Yes.
They did a great job. You see them coming in from the left side and from the right to get those kids off the court in a timely manner. Because you still had girls on the ground from both teams that were in danger. And so hat tip to the folks at Black Hills. But it's going to stay. Can we find a way to modify it somehow? That I don't know.
The Activities Association, Mike and Dan Sortos, they admitted their mistake. Dan said it was my fault. I didn't follow the policy that we have in place about awarding the medals and the trophy after a court storming. I thought that's all they can do. Admit the mistake. What else?
Honestly, I was really proud of Dr. Swartos. I wish more people, and I put this on Twitter, he accepted the mistake, he knew it was his, and he apologized. And by apologizing, he didn't say, I apologize if this or that. He simply said, I apologize, and I appreciate the fact that he owned it and went from there. All you can do is continue to discuss and revive what the ideas are behind it. They've got committees for that. They have all of that. Obviously, you're going to have human emotions involved, and that game was so tightly contested that you're going to have high emotions. I'm very proud of the fact I broadcast the game on South Dakota Public Broadcasting that brought about instant replay. That was the O'Gorman-Yankton AA boys game from a few years back. And then 3 years ago, I got to broadcast the first game that used the replay, which was in the ill-fated 2020, 4 years ago now, the ill-fated 2020 Girls B basketball tournament, also in Spearfish, which used the replay for the first time ever. So, I thank goodness for replay, and that also bought everybody a little extra time to get the kids off the court. But you're going to discuss that and look at it. But thank goodness Dan just stood up and said, hey, this is entirely on me.
And by the way, the replay allows people to see, yes, she got the shot off. Yes, it was a Sioux Falls Christian win, and that's really the story. Otherwise, people would be complaining about that. Well, I don't know. I maybe not. And it was clear.
Right.
Last one, AA girls. I just want you to read. Sioux Falls O'Gorman has won 51 games. Say people are debating, but nonetheless, at least 50 in a row. AA, 50 wins in a row. Well, what can you say about O'Gorman? That's hard to do.
For years, and this is actually kind of how I started before I actually found out I was being, that you weren't hearing me. Kent Colesrud has been underrated for years. He used to win 14 games a year, and he would get to the state tournament when he had 2 basketball players, a soccer player, and a couple of gals. He can just flat coach. Now that he has talent on this roster, and has for the last several years, it's remarkable. Kent Colesrud is finally getting his due, and yes, does he have talent? Sure. But boy, can he coach? Winning 50 games at AA level? That's unbelievable. And by the way, can I also shout out to my buddy Adam Dannenbring? It is not easy to coach a superstar, and I think he did a sensational job doing that this year as well.
Yeah, Adam Dannenbring, Stevens finishes fourth. I thought, here's my wrap-up on the girls' weekend. I thought the Class B crowd was unbelievable. I was watching that in Huron. The Class A crowd, unbelievable. I went to AA a lot. Friday night when it was semifinal night, really nice crowd. Saturday a little bit down because Stevens got into the third place. But overall, girls basketball support, I thought it was unbelievable. And I know we've had some good support over the years. I feel like the coverage, the intensity, the emotion, I thought it was a great weekend for girls hoops.
I couldn't agree more. My grandkids go to school in Centerville, so I watched an awful lot of that B tournament as well. And how good is Bennett County going to be to watch for the next few years, by the way, and several other of those teams in the Bs as well. But yes, seeing those packed arenas, hearing the level of crowd noise, I thought it was a great weekend for girls basketball in the state, and it's a shame that you ended up with that controversial ending for the A.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Mike Hendrickson, longtime South Dakota sports broadcaster, live tonight. Mike, thanks for your perspective. Always appreciate you.
Nate, you're the best. Keep it local and live, and keep up the good work.
Thanks, sir. I appreciate that. Mike Hendrickson on tonight, one of my great friends, longtime South Dakota sports broadcaster, live. Find him on Twitter. He's there at Mike Hendrickson. Of course, he still pops in on a show, Calling All Sports. You know that show? All right. He'll pop in there. And we pop him in here on the Nate Brown Show as well. All right. Question of the day. Let's get an update on it. Is the South Dakota High School court storming policy something that should be continued for safety reasons? Mike said it was put in, he thought, about 11 years ago. That's what he thought, about 11. I mean, time flies for me when you're having fun or when you're getting old. Either way, should the South Dakota High School court storming policy be something that should continue? Basically, they're saying don't storm the court with the students in the celebration there, otherwise your team's not going to get their awards and medals. That's the rule. It wasn't quite played out that way Saturday at Black Hills State. But what do you think of the rule? Do you like it or not? We'll get an update next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
How do you make a buffet day even better? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade is your place for good food and good times. Won the big game? Make it a play day. Aced your test? Make it a play day. Just need to get out of the house? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade has all your favorites and all kinds of fun. So bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team. For good food and good times, make it a buffet day and a play day at the Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade.
No one has a handbook for what we're living through today, which is why the experience you have access to makes all the difference in how you make it to tomorrow. For decades, Dakota Bank has worked with ag producers through industry, economic, and regional changes. We're committed to agriculture. We're committed to the producers and families that make our communities great. Go with commitment, experience, and integrity. Dakota Bank, banking, insurance, mortgage, and trust. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Insurance and trust not FDIC insured.
The best pre-owned vehicles are Honda True Certified Pre-Owned, and the only place to find them is at Denny Menholt Rushmore Honda. Honda True Certified are protected by 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage and 2-year non-powertrain coverage. All are thoroughly inspected and include 2 complimentary oil changes, 24/7 roadside assistance, inspection report, and a 7-day exchange. Check out our selection at honda-true.com or see us at Denny Menholt Rushmore Honda.
Mark your calendars. The 2025 Black Hills Home Builders Home Show is March 28th through the 30th at the Monument. Don't miss your chance to get inspired and take advantage of expert advice and exclusive deals. I'm Tom Chandler with WeatherTech Exteriors, inviting you to come connect with top-rated contractors. Explore the latest smart home solutions, check out eco-friendly materials, and transform your home. Visit BlackHillsHomebuilders.com today for more information and tickets. That's BlackHillsHomebuilders.com.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. A winter weather advisory begins at 9 a.m. tomorrow and remains in effect until midnight tomorrow night. Mainly cloudy skies tonight with a slight chance of snow. Lows around 32, northeasterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. High of 37 tomorrow, snow likely. 3 to 5 inches of snow tomorrow through tomorrow night. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 54 degrees.
Boys State A tournament coverage starts Thursday on Fox Sports Rapid City. The number 3 Rapid City Christian Comets and the number 7 Hill City Rangers look to make a strong impression as they begin their state tournament runs in Sioux Falls. Join Jerome Wickersham and Dinger for all of the action at 4:45 p.m. with Hill City taking on number 2 Hamlin, followed by Rapid City Christian taking on number 6 Clark Willow Lake. It's the Rangers versus Chargers, the Comets versus the Cyclones Thursday right here on Fox Sports Rapid City.
This isn't just the sound of a legendary Brunswick pool table. It's the sound of families about to make memories together. And while this may sound like the hum of a spa, listen closely and you'll hear backyard fun for years to come. So while Splash City's guarantee of quality sure sounds good, we know quality time sounds even better.
Who wants another burger?
Splash City, 1024 West Omaha, across from Connects in Rapid City.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
Welcome back in. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio every afternoon drive. Thanks for making us part of your day. Coming up, Kent Colesroot, Sioux Falls O'Gorman head girls basketball coach. Back-to-back state titles. They've won 50 games in a row. That's unbelievable. They slipped by Brandon Valley in a thriller Saturday night. Kent Colesroot coming up talking O'Gorman basketball. How has he built it? Matt Zimmer's in tonight. Coming up, SiouxFallsLive.com talking Jack's women. Their seeding and how that plays out. Matt Zimmer's in. PSA, public service announcement from the Nate Brown Show. There should not have been a technical of the Class A Girls State Championship after the court storming. That was an AI-generated thing that pulls in all sorts of information from every which way. It was, oh, well, this state has this policy and this one has this policy. Yeah, South Dakota, there could have been a technical foul called if there's a court storming. No, there's no policy there. The game was over. That's the decider. Now, you have fans run onto the court during the game. Now you got a problem. Okay? So I've seen that. I've had experience with that. That happened in a game I remember back in the day. There was a fan that was on the court in the game, and a technical was issued there. Okay? The game was over. It was decided, and the policy, there is not one, and that went like wildfire, and it's hard to get the misinformation back in the, when the toothpaste's out, you can't get it back in the tube. It's hard to get it back in the tube, but I think it's important for us to do that. I'm not talking just in sports. That's the problem with so many things in our normal lives today. People share stuff that's not correct, and you don't know what to believe. It's not anybody's fault, per se. You don't know what to believe. And that's where the old fake news thing comes to play. It's like, what's real? What's fake? Is that right? Is this right? And it got going Saturday night in that Mapia-Luta Sioux Falls Christian ending, and the fans stormed the court there, and everybody said that should have been a technical. And that post went out there, and it just went like crazy on social media. I mean, it's just gone. Boom. And you got to bring it back. And you just have to realize what the real story is and the policy is about. Should they have got their awards, their trophy, and their medals? Or should they have been forced to wait because the students came out of the court? And that's the SDHSAA policy. And the Activities Association said, we made that mistake, just allowing the award ceremony to go on. And we made that mistake. So that's the real story, unfortunately, from an unbelievable Class A girls basketball game. Let me ask you the question of the day, and then we'll get into the second hour tonight. I'm just curious from a fan perspective, is the Activities Association court storming policy where they're trying to get the students, they've done that over a decade now, no students can come onto the floor. The administrators have to watch. You have to try and keep everybody under control. And really, I've been to all these state tournaments, and you guys have too. It's really a policy that's worked. I mean, we haven't seen it abused. We haven't seen a bunch of court stormings. And what do we talk about in college basketball and football these days, the last 2 years? All of these court stormings, and universities are getting fined $100,000 and this and that because they're trying to stop it too. So you're either kind of like the no fun police, and everybody gets mad at you. You're the no fun police, or you're just like, well, let's just go wild. There can't be any rules. Let's just go wild. What do you think of the policy, court storming, keeping the students off? Should it be continued in South Dakota high school sports? My question of the day, a lot of people voting, 605-720-1067. If you want to text us on the text line, I'd appreciate it. Your perspective there, 605-720-1067. That's how you text us on the Barron's-Wilson text line here on the Nate Brown Show. Is the South Dakota high school court storming policy something that should be continued? What do you say? Yes, you cannot court storm. It's too dangerous. Or no, it's hard to enforce anyway. 50%. I mean, this is split. It's 50% say you got to keep the policy. You can't court storm. And it's 50% that said, no, it's hard to enforce anyway. You should scrap the policy. 50-50 down the middle. I don't think we've had a question of the day like that in a long time. 50-50 and quite a few votes here. 151 so far on Twitter. That's where we put up the question of the day. At Nate Brown Show. Follow the show on Twitter and watch us live. Welcome in. All right, keep voting there and let me know. What do you say? Court storming policy, should it be continued for safety reasons? That's why the Activities Association put it in. Try and keep everything more under control. And then it's the people say, oh, let the kids have fun. And then there's the no fun police. Which side do you land on? Listener text coming in. You need the policy. Sorry. You need it's going to be the rules followers against the risk takers. Look out. Great Class A girls basketball game, I will say that. What an unbelievable atmosphere, and two teams that just battled. Into the second hour tonight. Let's switch gears. Let's go to football really quick. All right, I know it's March Madness. Let's go to football. There's a new idea. You know how some teams are canceling their spring football games right now. Nebraska's going to cancel theirs. Texas, they're canceling theirs. Deion Sanders, oh yes, our guy, Deion, has a new idea for a spring football game. He said, why don't we do this? We need to play a game. Let's play a real game. Do we like this idea? We'll start there next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
The South Dakota Lottery is all about good fun, but too much fun is not good fun, like too much ice cream. Brain freeze is not fun, or roller coasters. Good fun! Or lottery games. Too much fun is not good fun. That's why the South Dakota Lottery reminds you to always play only for fun. And if you can't, help is available and always confidential. Because too much fun is not good fun. Play responsibly. Keep the fun good. Learn more at keepthefungood.com.
Get prepped and ready for a lush lawn this season with great deals at Fleet Farm. Save $5 on all Scott's Sun and Shade grass seed in convenient 3, 7, and 20-pound bags. Scott's Turf Builder Crabgrass Preventer with lawn food is just $69.99 after rebate. Plus, Field & Forest denim jeans for men, perfect for yard work, are priced right at $9.99 and up. Stock up on all your seasonal lawn and garden supplies at the best prices guaranteed at Fleet Farm.
Experience the best selection and lowest prices in town at both Mr. Liquor stores in Rapid City. Save big on Black Box wine, 3 liters for $17.49. Or get $3 off 19 Crimes wine, now just $8.99. The popular High Noon ready-to-drink 4-packs reduced to only $9.99. Or stock up on 750s of Malibu rum, now $15.99. Remember, you can enjoy a delicious Tab beer while you shop at the new Mr. Liquor 2 off Catron next to Walmart, or on the corner of West Chicago and Sturgis Road in Rapid City.
Find your fortune and fall for big wins during the Love and Luck promotion at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort. Join us every Friday and Saturday night from 8 p.m. to midnight for prize drawings that grow bigger each hour. Then, don't miss the grand prize event on Saturday, March 29th, where 10 lucky winners will take home prizes ranging from $500 to $5,000. Let Love and Luck bring you big wins and even bigger thrills. Only at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort in Deadwood. How will your night play out?
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
Do you have a financial game plan for your life? Hi, this is Lee Cruz, your local trusted New York Life agent here in Rapid City. My passion is helping you put the pieces in place for your family to make sure your game plan is a success. For over 175 years, New York Life has been helping people like yourself take action in securing their future. Don't wait, take action and Google Lee Cruz New York Life or call 605-360-8804. We will work together on putting your family first.
We're talking with Britt Wickett at Elevate Performance Physical Therapy for an Elevate Performance Health Minute. Britt, one of the injuries we hear a lot about in sports, an ACL tear. You can't prevent all injuries, but good sports performance training could help.
Yeah, Nate. One of the things that a lot of good sports performance training focuses on is trying to not only prepare athletes for the field of sport, but also try to mitigate their risk to sustain an injury. Unfortunately, things happen in sport. If anybody ever does experience an ACL tear, that results in needing a surgery to fix that, it's important to have a therapist on your side who can help them through prehab, rehab, and then return to sport. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It takes a long time to get back to the field of sport, but it's not impossible to do it all by any means. So just having that end goal in mind can be really beneficial for the rehab process.
When it comes to ACLs and sports performance training and treatment, get started at elevateperformancesd.com.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
Welcome back in. Monday Reaction, South Dakota Sports Talk Show live on Fox Sports Radio. Second hour ready to go, brought to you by Summit Automotive Group. When it comes to pre-owned in South Dakota, started SummitAutoGRP.com. Car buying truly built around you. Start at SummitAutoGRP.com. The Nate Brown Show is on. Stream us there on X right now at Nate Brown Show. You got us on your phone wherever you're at. Welcome in. Second hour guest lineup looks good. Matt Zimmer's coming up. SiouxFallsLive.com. Matt Zimmer is in, and then we'll go to O'Gorman. Head girls basketball coach Kent Colesrud winning back-to-back state championships. What a run. They just get by Brandon Valley in the final seconds for win number 50 in a row. We got a controversy. I was told today by a broadcaster 51 wins in a row. If you go back even further for O'Gorman, is it 50, 51? Either way, I'll take it. O'Gorman's been untouchable for 2 years in girls basketball. That's quite something. Coach Colesrud is on tap tonight. If you want in, 605-720-1067. That's the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline, 605-720-1067. Pizza Ranch Hotline, powered by the Pizza Ranch at 3809 East 10th Street, Sioux Falls. Also in Brandon and 2 locations in Rapid City. It's the home of everyone's favorite buffet. You know that. Locally owned and operated Pizza Ranch. Okay, I'm going to switch gears until I get to the Jacks women's basketball seed here. I'm not going to act like I'm the expert, but I'm going to give my read on the Jacks women's seed, and then we'll get to Matt Zimmer as he covers them here in the tournament coming up. First, let's go college football really quick. So you either like Deion Sanders, you think he's doing great things, he's a marketer, he's a brand builder, he's an old school guy behind the scenes, or you're the other way. He's flashy, he's arrogant, he's just doing this for Deion and his sons, not for Colorado. So he's, what do you say, polarizing, okay? But I got to say, Deion says some stuff. He's not really scared to say anything. He's not scared to say anything. I do like guys that just lay it out there, say it, and he's not going to be loved for it or he's going to be hit for it. I've followed Deion's program, especially this past year, And I've seen some of the really good things I think he's done there at Colorado. I think people hit him hard. People like hitting him hard, and they don't really, I don't think, give him credit for, well, what about this idea? Maybe this is something to actually think about. So let's throw this out. Deion is doing spring football at Boulder, and he said everybody right now wants to cancel their spring games. You know, that's the trend right now. He said, we're going down this trend of canceling spring games. He wants to keep it old school. He wants to do spring games, but he wants a twist. He said, why don't we take this like the NFL model? How they're in their preseason prep like we are. They go practice against other teams for a few days, and then they play a scrimmage. So Deion's idea today, and he was down in Boulder, he gave a press conference. Deion Sanders is saying, this is a no-brainer. Should the NCAA make it legal at least to scrimmage other teams for your spring game? So instead of the Huskers getting rid of their spring game, could the Huskers, I don't know, sign up somebody to play? What do you think that would do for the fans? And here's why Deion's always thinking about this. Sign a media partner. Put your game on TV. I mean, you can make some revenue, duh. And so Deion's always like, okay, how's this going to benefit the brand? You can say what you want about, the football side. I think he's done a pretty good job in a short amount of time at a really, really bad program. I mean, it was the bottom of the bottom. And he's always about brand building. And Deion says, why don't we play a spring game? Let's see if we can play somebody else. Put that on for the fans. Do a TV media deal. Put the game on and call it good. And then everybody wins. Everybody, I mean, the schools are going to win there. And people, well, injuries. You're going to get injuries of beating each other up anyway. Injuries, you're going to beat each other up anyway. It's not totally about, I mean, people are starting to bag on the spring games because the coaches see, I don't know, we don't need to do this. It's not, I believe it's less about the fans. It's just about, we don't want to do this. We don't need to, and people are going to recruit our players and all the excuses that they come up with, yet we're slow to embrace, like, hey, here's an idea from Deion Sanders. Let's just not poo-poo it because it's Deion. Does that make sense? He says it's like the pro model. Do they have injuries in practices and scrimmages? Yeah, I'm sure they do. It's football. But he said, let's take advantage of a time here, spring games, play somebody. Nobody has to be forced to do it. It's not like you're like, every team has to do this. Can the NCAA just allow it? Instead of playing each other again, monotonous, so we don't want to play a spring game against each other. Let's put a game on TV. Let's play somebody. How about South Dakota State? I'm gonna propose it right here tonight. Coach Dan Jackson, let's do South Dakota State and Colorado spring game. Who says no to that? Who says no to that? Would you guys say no to that? Hey, you tell me. Does anybody say no to that, honestly? If you could talk Deion Sanders, Dan Jackson, and Deion, they say, hey, we want to do a spring game. Let's see South Dakota State, CU. Let's take a little trip. They won't come to Brookings, I hate to tell you. So let's take a trip. Let's go to Boulder, have some fun. It's nice down there in the springtime. Let's do that. Who says no to CU, South Dakota State, in a spring game televised deal, a little scrimmage like that? Doesn't matter who wins. It's brand building. I mean, you would be dumb not to do that. That would be ridiculous not to do that. I like Deion's side. I mean, he thinks. At least he thinks. Right? At least he's thinking. Give Deion a little credit. By the way, let's see. I got to go to, speaking of South Dakota State, on the women's basketball side. So the story is this. They get their seed over the weekend. South Dakota State women have won 29 games. They might have had their best season as far as when they made the NCAA tournament, and they get one of their worst seeds for the season that they had. So I don't know how the committee goes about this stuff. I think it's just the mid-majors get hosed. The mid-majors, nobody cares what the Summit League looks like. Nobody's breaking down the Summit League film. I hate to break it to you. So they just like, well, South Dakota State's a good program. We're not going to give them like a 14, 15. No. How about a 10? Yet their only losses are to Texas, Duke, and Georgia Tech. Texas and Duke are the top of the top. That's the top of the top. And those are the only losses. South Dakota State's had one of their better resumes, yet they've been a higher than a 10 seed 4 times previously. The South Dakota State women have won games in the tournament. You guys know this. And they've been higher than a 10 seed 4 times. Yet today they get a 10 seed for going 29-3? What's the real reason there? My contention is the mid-majors are getting squeezed. Nobody gives a rip. It's more and more. The men's side has 14 SEC teams in. I don't care if you think the SEC is the best conference ever in the history of basketball, which is what they're telling you. 14 teams out of 16? That's iffy. That is iffy. And just watch. Tennessee will get beat again. I hate to tell you. Matt Zimmer's coming up. SiouxFallsLive.com. We'll talk Jacks there and more coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Who's gotten this text? Please pick up milk and buns on your way home. Now, milk is easy, skim or 2%, but with so many choices, the bread aisle can be a bit much. Thankfully, I'm friends with Lofi. He gave me a tip that makes finding the perfect buns as simple as he is. For the only hamburger and hot dog buns that are baked locally and delivered fresh daily, just look for the Village Hearth logo on the package. And not only are they the best, dozens of Village Hearth products now have also lower prices. So the next time you're lost in the bread aisle, take it from Lofi. Look for Village Hearth.
Hey, Sioux Falls sports fans, there's a great new sports bar in Sioux Falls, Boston's Restaurant and Sports Bar on West Russell Street in the Ramada Water Park Hotel. If you want to watch games, UFC, they've got it, wall-to-wall TVs, and the best part, great food. Gourmet pizza at Boston's, tons of wing options, great burgers, and a lot more. Bring the family, bring the team, bring your crew to the new Boston's Restaurant and Sports Bar in Sioux Falls on West Russell Street. Plus, you can order online for lunch or dinner. Just go to bostons.com.
Ready to turn that home project dream into a reality? The 2025 Black Hills Home Builders Home Show is your one-stop shop for inspiration and amazing deals to help tackle home renovation projects of any size. I'm Julie Bennett with Premier Surfaces, inviting you to the Monument March 28th through the 30th. Meet with more than 500 contractors, renovators, landscapers, and more. This year, check out the exciting Kid Zone, fun for the whole family, all for just $10. For tickets and information, head to blackhillshomebuilders.com.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. A winter weather advisory begins at 9 a.m. tomorrow and remains in effect until midnight tomorrow night. Mainly cloudy skies tonight with a slight chance of snow. Lows around 32, northeasterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. High of 37 tomorrow, snow likely. 3 to 5 inches of snow tomorrow through tomorrow night. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 54 degrees.
Hi, it's Nate Brown for Black Hills Community Bank. If you run your own company or you're looking to start a small business here in the Black Hills, you want to make sure you choose the right banking partner. And I know the right choice for business is Black Hills Community Bank. They have plenty of banking options to suit your specific needs. And Black Hills Community Bank is here to help business owners thrive and to make sure you have the support and tools to help your business grow. Just contact one of their business loan experts today or visit bhcbank.com. Member FDIC.
Looking for a new sport utility? Looking for one that's easy on the gas bill? We have them at Danny Mantle Rapid Chevrolet. Over 50 to choose from, most with the exclusive Danny Mantle discount, including 23 all-new 2025 Equinoxes, plus Traverse, Tahoe, Suburban, Trailblazer, and Trax. Finance terms to fit every budget. Rates as low as 2.9% APR. See us at Danny Mantle Rapid Chevrolet or DannyMantleRapidChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Length of finance contract is limited on select models with qualified credit. Expires 3/31/25.
Hey, sports parents and ballers of all ages, Rapid City has a new sports facility that you have to check out. E3, newest indoor sports facility featuring 4 full courts. E3 Sports is here to serve the community and wants all athletes of any age to come and experience expert training, coaching, and the opportunity to unlock your athletic potential. Memberships and court rentals are available now. Come to play at E3 Sports Complex. Learn more at e3sports.org.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show, The Nate Brown.
Welcome back in. How are you tonight? Good? Solid on a Monday? I mean, people are Reaction Monday. Very heavy Reaction Monday. That's good. That's good. Hope you had a good weekend. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio across South Dakota. Also stream us there on X at Nate Brown Show. Follow the show live and watch us live every afternoon at Nate Brown Show. We're live there. Kent Colesrud's coming up live from O'Gorman, head girls coach. 2 years in a row, they've been unbeaten. That's tough to do in basketball. You have a bad night shooting usually, right? Something. 25 turnovers, something. But they've won every game the last 2 years. Kent Colesrud coming up after another AA title. Matt Zimmer's on tonight from Sioux Falls Live. SiouxFallsLive.com. He'll be covering the Jacks. Going to Connecticut, taking on Oklahoma State. I'm going to get to the Jacks here and the game and the team and the seeding and the whole thing. But I want to go to this high school story. I want to go to Matt Zimmer's perspective, what he would have done back in the day, court storming. Does Matt Zimmer run onto the floor after a state championship?
I don't know. I never. Washington wasn't that great when I was a student there. I got there right when Jim Trett started rebuilding it.
Okay.
It was, a couple of years after I left that they finally won one. I don't know if I would have. Maybe. You know how high school kids are. You got to wait for one kid to do it, and then everybody does it. That's probably what happened in Rapid the other day.
Okay, so I was looking at this. I watched the tape again, and I watched it a lot, and it didn't happen right away. It was kind of just how you explained it. The Sioux Falls Christian kids were like, okay, it's emotional. Yeah, the team won it. Okay, let's do this. I don't know how many of them did it. There was a substantial number, and that's the story now. Everybody went crazy with this, saying, well, there should have been technical. Well, that's not true. So I've debated, or I've debunked that. But then they shouldn't award the awards, the trophies, and the medals. Well, that is true according to the policy, but the Activities Association did it, Matt, and they admitted their mistake on that for not following the policy. My question is the court storming policy that's been in place a little over a decade now, is it good to have?
Well, it seems kind of toothless if, if things played out the way they did. But what are they supposed to do? I think the one thing everyone can agree on is that you can't do something that could impact the game. If, you want the championship to be decided by the two teams on the court. A technical foul, what if it's a 1-point win like this one was? That could, in theory, impact the game, change the outcome. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants the outcome of the game changed.
So that's too far if they did that. Yeah.
What'd you say?
That's too far if they had a technical foul, in your opinion.
Right, yes. I don't think anything that could potentially change the game where players have a championship taken away from them because something the student section did, that would be wrong.
Right.
I think most people agree on that. So I understand why the policy was the way it was. They're kind of like, well, we can't take the championship away from them, so we have to have some sort of punishment. So I suppose that's why someone came up with the idea, well, we'll just not recognize them in the ceremony or whatever. But how petty is that? I mean, I get it. They want to have some sort of preventative measure in there, some sort of incentive to stop the kids from doing it. But it just seems really silly and petty. Everyone knows who won. To me, that comes across as really petty, I guess, just to do that to the kids when it's something that, the players didn't have anything to do with it, the coaches didn't have anything to do with it. And so I think, if it's a situation where it's like, well, we have this policy in place just so we can say we have a policy, then I think Dan Swartos did the right thing. Whether he's genuinely apologetic that he didn't follow through on the rule the way he was supposed to, or whether he's just saying that, I don't know. I think I would have done the same thing as, they stormed the court, big deal. Who cares? Did it hurt anything? No. Sioux Falls Christian won the championship. Clear the floor, hand out the awards, everybody go home.
All right, Matt Zimmer in tonight, SiouxFallsLive.com. Here's the thing, last one on this. It's a liability thing. I mean, I don't get into the legalese, but that's, I think, why they did it. I don't remember if anybody got hurt or anything happened. It's not like I don't remember a huge incident, but they think something's going to happen, and the colleges are thinking the same thing. They're trying to stop it in the SEC and all these places. Yeah. I don't know how you do.
I mean, increase security or something, or, maybe potentially threaten the kids with discipline at school. If someone gets caught running on the court, they get ISS or something when they come back on Monday. I don't know. I just don't think it's that big of a deal, honestly. I just don't think this is a controversial thing. Kids win championships. Kids want to celebrate, run onto the court. It's part of sports.
All right, Matt Zimmer on tonight. You're getting ready to go to Connecticut, covering the Jacks women, so let's go there. 29-3. You've followed them closely. I just look at them. I've watched some of their games here and go, man, they lost to Texas. Big, I get it. Duke, Georgia Tech. So the resume to you says what?
Well, it's the best resume they've ever had, I think. And, 5-6 years ago, they went to the Sweet 16 as a 6th seed, and they didn't have as good a resume as they do now. Those 3 teams you just mentioned, those are their only 3 losses. And they are to 3 teams that are all in the NCAA tournament, and all 3 of them above a 1 seed, a 2 seed, and a 9 seed. Those are their 3 losses. 19-0 against their league. I get it, the Summit League isn't very good. But they also have wins over Oregon, who's in the NCAA tournament, Creighton, who's in the NCAA tournament. They were both ranked in the top 25 at the time. They beat Ball State, who's in the NCAA tournament. I think their strength of schedule is 10th in the country for non-conference anyway. I just don't know what else you can ask them to do. And, that doesn't mean that the Jacks are entitled to, a 1 or 2 seed if they schedule a bunch of tough teams or whatever. They got to win more of them. But it just, when you look at it and how good the resume is, and it resulted in a 10, well, that kind of makes you think, well, what would they be if they'd won those 3 games? They'd beat Texas, Georgia Tech, and Duke. They'd be 32-0 with a win over a number 1 seed and a number 2 seed.
A 7.
Would they still only be a 6 or a 7? I mean, it's obvious that things have changed since that year they made the Sweet 16. Back then they used RPI. Now they use this NET, this net ranking, and they were 44th in the net ranking. Well, it sure seems like, whether it was intended or not, that the net ranking is kind of a way of pushing down some of the mid-major schools and giving more weight to the power conferences. Maybe that's the way they want it. I don't know.
That is how
maybe that's the way it's going to be going forward. Okay, but that's not what a lot of these mid-major schools got used to, or what they thought they were buying into. I mean, Aaron Johnston a few years ago kind of recognized, okay, if I want our team to take the next step forward, to not just be a tournament team, but a team that can threaten to go deep into the tournament, I need to challenge us with these big non-conference games. Well, now the NCAA is kind of telling them, it doesn't actually matter. We're not going to reward you anyway.
Yeah, I talked to a college basketball writer tonight, national guy, and he said these new metrics, these are for the big guys. I mean, this rewards the big dogs, and it doesn't reward the mid-majors. So I want to ask you, though, do you think it was the weakness of the Summit League women? I mean, the Women's Summit League is not strong. Was that a huge factor, or is it just they're a mid-major, we know who they are, let's give them a 10? Does the Summit League play a factor?
Not really. I mean, it does, but only in the sense that it's always been that way. Even when USD was an equal to SDSU, then you just had 2 good teams and everyone else stunk. I mean, this year the Summit League was actually decent in comparison to some other seasons. North Dakota State and Oral Roberts both got postseason invitations. So there's a couple other teams in the league that are still playing basketball. SDSU went undefeated against the Summit League. You can say the Summit League stinks. It stunk back in 19. It stunk all these other years. The main factor is this net ranking has changed the way teams are evaluated, and it gives, like I said, sort of a built-in advantage to the power schools, largely because of how big the power conferences have become. The Big Ten is 18 teams, so that just means more conference games for those Big Ten teams. How many Big Ten teams are in the tournaments this year, men's and women's? Like 10? I mean, I don't even look at the bracket, but if all they have to do is, go out and play their conference games, and that immediately gives them a high net ranking, then you're an Aaron Johnston or your USD's women, Oral Roberts women, and you're saying, well, we have to go schedule as many tough games as we can, and it no longer benefits you. I mean, it's almost telling Aaron Johnston, don't even bother. Just schedule a bunch of NAIA teams in the preseason. We're going to give you a 13, 12 seed anyway.
Yeah. Now I kind of see it. Matt Zimmer's on. A couple more. I'll let him run. He's getting ready to go to Connecticut, cover the Jacks women. They play Oklahoma State on Saturday. Follow his coverage, SiouxFallsLive.com. Speaking of the teams getting in, let's go to the men's side. The SEC has 14 out of their 16 teams. It's the entire conference.
There you go. Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy to me.
I mean, Greg Sankey, the commissioner, has been kind of squawking for a while that he doesn't like the Cinderellas. He thinks this NCAA tournament, this is supposed to be for us. We're the schools that make all the money. We get all of it. And I understand where he's coming from, even though he's coming from it in a less than, pure way, I guess.
I think
what he either doesn't understand or he understands and he's intentionally being disingenuous is what makes the NCAA tournament what it is, Nate. It's the Cinderellas. It's the upsets.
Yeah.
You turn the NCAA tournament into a power conference exclusive only sort of tournament, it's going to lose its luster. Dare I say, it will no longer be the premier, national sporting event that it is. That's not to say that there won't still be upsets, except the 14 seeds, instead of the 14 seeds being Omaha or Fairleigh Dickinson, it'll be Minnesota or Nebraska or something. But I just don't think that will have the same impact that it does. That's what makes this event such a cultural event. Everyone tunes in on those first 2 days to see these schools we've never heard of try and take down, a David and Goliath sort of thing. And if you get rid of that, the tournament won't be the same.
No, I
know there's been talk, well, then expand the tournament, make it 96 teams. Nobody wants that either. The NCAA tournament is, dare I say, perfect the way it is. And the more you start squeezing out the little guys so that you can give more more money, more opportunities to these, second division major conference schools, the, Northwesterns and Minnesotas and Vanderbilts of the world, I just think that's not going to benefit anyone in the long run.
I'm with you on it. I think it's, I really am. And we're mid-major guys. I get it. But I think everybody wants to watch Thursday and Friday. Not everybody, like Sweet 16, like next weekend, they're like, oh, okay, Tennessee against whoever. Yeah. I mean, we're looking for the upsets.
People start tuning out in the Sweet 16.
I believe that.
The first two rounds, that's the one everyone tunes in for.
Yep.
Takes off work to get their bracket out and sit and watch. That's what it's all about.
Yep. I'm with you. Last one. You're going to Connecticut. So you tell me, this matchup's now, you get the 10 seed for the Jacks women, so it's not an easy one. Oklahoma State's 25-6. I was looking at them. I haven't watched them. I don't know them. I'm just looking at the teams they beat, too. What do you think of Saturday afternoon?
I think it's a matchup where neither team is very happy. The Jacks are obviously upset that they got a 10, and they have to play such a good team, this 7 seed out of the Big 12 that's, like you said, 25-6. But imagine being Oklahoma State. You earned a 7 seed, and your reward is to play a South Dakota State team that everyone knows shouldn't be a 10 seed. They're like, cool, we got a 7 seed, but we got essentially a 6 or 7 seed as our opponent. So both teams are going to be probably not so fired up about that. It's a really good matchup. Two teams that are really, really good on defense. One of the interesting things is Oklahoma State's coach used to be the coach at UMKC in the Summit League. So she's familiar with the Jacks. She's certainly not going to let her girls overlook them. But I think it's kind of a toss-up. I think it's two really evenly matched teams, and it's kind of unfortunate because it's probably two teams that both belong in the second round.
By the way, if the Jacks win Saturday, they probably get UConn, Paige Beckers, the #1 brand, UConn, I think, in college women's basketball.
That would be fun. I've always wanted to see him play and see him go against the Jacks specifically, see how they measure up. See AJ go against Gino. That would be fun.
No, big time. Starts first Saturday. Matt Zimmer will cover it. Jacks against Oklahoma State on the women's side Saturday afternoon. SiouxFallsLive.com. Matt Zimmer on. Thanks a lot, Matt. I appreciate it.
You bet, Nate. See ya.
Matt Zimmer tonight. SiouxFallsLive.com. Sports writer covering the Jacks women and Oklahoma State. That'll be played at Connecticut, home of UConn. So if the Jacks can win it Saturday, it's a tall task. That's a tough one. Then they would play UConn, I believe. Not too many huge upsets in women's basketball, 15-2. UConn, Paige Beckers is the #2 seed. That would be the second matchup for the Jacks. I would love to see that. Love to see that. Kent Colesrud is on next from O'Gorman. How has he done this? 2 years in a row where they haven't lost one game. O'Gorman's the AA champs again. Coach Colesrud live next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Save big money now at Menards. Transform your space with Window Images light filtering cordless cellular shades. Its energy-efficient design traps air, making your rooms cooler in the summer and warmer in the winter. The soft fabric filters light for the perfect combination of function and fashion. And they can be trimmed to width for free in-store. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Sports Grass by Forever Lawn delivers a trifecta that can't be beat. Higher quality product, expertly handled custom installation, and long-term partnership. Indoors or out, small or large. Your sports grass field will continue to look and feel great after years of play. Call 605-831-9026 or Google Forever Lawn in South Dakota. With dealerships on both sides of the state, we're ready to help you put the best into your sports fields. Forever Lawn in South Dakota.
Shop the region's largest selection of spirits, wines, and beers at the best prices today at both Mr. Liquor locations in Rapid City. Save $7 on Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, now $23.99. 750 bottles of Jefferson Bourbon reduced $5, now just $29.99. Or take advantage of special pricing on Old Forester Whiskey Row Series Bourbon. Experience the new Mr. Liquor 2 next to Walmart off Catron, or the original location on the corner of West Chicago and Sturgis Road in Rapid City.
March means big savings at Spearfish Motors. Save up to $6,250 on 2025 GMC Sierra Light Duty, or choose finance rates as low as 0.9% for 36 months. Save up to $2,750 on select GMC Sierra HDs. Plus, we've received truckloads of new GMC inventory. Check out a great selection of the all-new Acadia, Terrain, and Canyon. Hurry in today before the March savings drive away.
Online always at spearfishmotors.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
So, I just got the State Farm Personal Price Plan on my car insurance.
So you told your agent you play the bagpipes for your dog?
What? No, I didn't get that personal. My agent just helped me create an affordable price just for me. Okay, let me show you what I've been working on. Hey, Buster!
Contact me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Hey Rush fans, it's Rob at the Firehouse Skybox. We are your official home for Rapid City Rush hockey. When the Rush are playing on the road, join other Rush fans at the Skybox and enjoy some great food and cheer on your Rush. We show every Rush away game and we'll have Rush-themed giveaways every road trip. You'll get a chance to win great Rush prizes with the purchase of a drink or food item. The Skybox has the best food and the best Rush game day experience. Go Rush!
In the past, if you needed auto body repair, you had to get multiple estimates and then try to get your car into a shop for repair. Well, not anymore. In most cases, you can stop by one shop, get your estimate, and schedule your car for a repair. The question now becomes which shop you choose. If you like quality, choose J&J Truck and Auto Body. They have ASE, PPG, and Gold I-CAR certifications that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty. And they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
This is The Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
Welcome back in. Busy show tonight. Thanks for being a part of it. The Nate Brown Show live on Fox Sports Radio across South Dakota. It is South Dakota Sports Talk Show from high school to college to the pros. If you missed some of the guests tonight, good stuff. We talked NCAA bracket with national writer Kerry Miller, the Bleacher Report. State tournaments with Mike Hendrickson tonight. Jacks women with Matt Zimmer. He's going to Connecticut as they get set to take on Oklahoma State on Saturday afternoon. Now let's go to the high school ranks. I watched this team this weekend. O'Gorman wins another AA girls basketball title. They haven't lost a game in 2 years. So I'm going to put coach on the spot. Kent Colsrud is the coach at O'Gorman, two-time state champ now back-to-back. I was told it was 50 wins in a row, coach. But now I had a broadcaster come into my office today, and he said, if you go back to the previous season, it's 51 wins in a row. So, Coach, decide it tonight. Is it 50 or 51?
Well, we've
tried to avoid talking about it all year long, but yeah, really cool thing. We're back-to-back undefeated seasons. That was 48, and then the previous year we were consolation champions. We lost the first game in the tournament and then won the next two. So I think we're sitting at 50.
Okay. I'll take that. I'm sure you will as well. 50,
exactly.
50 wins in a row. Well, I wanted to joke about that, but I've been telling everybody that's got to be really tough. I mean, it's basketball. We might have 25 turnovers in a night. We might shoot 32% in a night. So you lose games. Sometimes it happens. How have you not?
Yeah, I mean, we've just been able to be so consistent and, just got really good players. And, this year's team, we had the burden of, coming in the season with a 26-game winning streak, and they truly just stayed focused on, trying to win each and every day, whether that was getting better in practice, whether that was, just trying to go 1-0 in each game. And we kept it as simple as just trying to win the next possession as well. And, that all sounds good. I'm sure a lot of coaches say that, but this group truly bought into it. We just really never talked about that winning streak. They knew what their goals were, for the end of the season, and knew how important each and every game was, that we played well, and most importantly, improved throughout the course of the season. And it was just not ever an issue. I don't think they ever felt, a lot of pressure or the burden of having to carry on that, that winning streak or those kind of things. So just really proud of how humble and the work ethic this group of kids demonstrated throughout the entire season.
Kent Colesrud joins us tonight on the Nate Brown Show. O'Gorman head girls basketball coach, back-to-back AA state champs. They just get by Brandon Valley in the final seconds on Saturday night. So I want to go back to the beginning of this year. Was it harder for you? People say, well, it's hard to repeat. So is that harder than last year?
Oh, gosh, they're always hard. I don't know. It probably is a little bit harder to try to go back to back. We kind of have a target on our backs. Everybody wants to, beat you, that type of thing. And but boy, it's just never easy. The schedule we play throughout the regular season, the teams that we've had to beat in the state tournament the last couple of years, just quality teams, really good players, great coaches that work so hard, and it's just never easy. So we just try to stay focused on the game at hand, and found ourselves, in the state championship game against a great Brandon Valley team, a team that we really respect. Coach Zur and that coaching staff does a tremendous job, and we knew that we were going to be in for a battle on Saturday night.
Yeah, it was a good one. You were down most of the game and then stormed back after being down 10 midway through the fourth quarter, and you get the win. So I want to ask you about your team here. You said some good things there. Hard work, the culture. So what did you hang your hat on? How does a team like this win games? I know there's talent, but what do you think this team had that others don't?
Yeah, I think we had great team chemistry. It started early season. Our seniors, our upperclassmen embraced our freshmen, sophomores that were on the varsity. And we talked about it in our very first meeting that, you guys got to truly almost become sisters. And that doesn't mean you're going to get along perfectly all the time, but, you just got to embrace each other. And, I just thought throughout the course of the season, they just continued to grow as a group. And they had so much fun when they did things, whether that was on the court or that was off the court. They just really had a lot of fun together, and just kept working. And a group, I think, that handled adversity really well. Also, we at times, things just don't go right, as you mentioned earlier. You don't shoot very good, or you don't rebound very good, or somebody gets in foul trouble, or different things. And this group just handled adversity so well, and that's just so important. When you go throughout the course of a 4-month season, with high school kids, there's a lot of ups and downs, and they just really try to stay consistent, stay stable, and always just try to work hard and do the right things.
Kent Colesrud joins us tonight. Appreciate his time. O'Gorman, head girls basketball coach, back-to-back state champs. Wanted to get him on. 50-game winning streak in AA girls basketball. He's here on the Nate Brown Show. So I was watching, I watched the Stevens game Friday night, and you jumped on them early. That full court press you do, that diamond press, really good. Jumped on a lot of turnovers, and you got out early. Saturday, you do that press. It seemed like Brandon Valley was fine, composed. Were they handling it, or were you kind of playing it out, maybe not quite as aggressive, seeing how the game flows? What was the game like?
Yeah, we wanted to come out aggressive. That was our mindset every single game. And Julia Eggert, is the girl that's on top of that diamond press, and she's just done a phenomenal job. Just so disruptive, creates so much havoc with her athleticism and her active hands. And so we were going to try to get after them the best we could. But, Brandon Valley's got really good players. They had a really good scheme. And we knew we weren't necessarily going to get a lot of steals. We just wanted to, do what we do best, be the aggressor, and, hope we could maybe wear them down a little bit, or, if you shake a few turnovers loose here and there. And that's just the style that these kids have played, played all season long. So we wanted to be true to who we were.
Yeah, and you got those turnovers, I would say, late in the game, in the fourth quarter when you needed them. It seemed like Brandon Valley, they were up 10, Coach. I got to ask you, 49 wins in a row. They're up 10s, about 4 minutes left. I was watching going, well, I think this is it, because Brandon Valley wasn't panicking. They were in good shape. What were you thinking?
Yeah, I think it's just natural that a little bit of doubt pops in your mind. And, we're at, I think it was the 5:52 mark, and unfortunately, Julie Eggert, one of our best players, gets her fifth foul. We're down 12 at that time, and, we just tried to keep selling to our kids, with the media timeouts and just coaches using a lot of timeouts in state tournament games. Every time we had the opportunity to talk with them was just try to win the next possession. Let's just try to cut this from 10 to 6, or, let's give ourselves an opportunity in that last minute or two to try to win the basketball game. And I thought they really did that. They bought into it. I know we knocked it down a couple different times, and then to Brandon Valley's credit, they get it back from 3 back to 6 or 7 or something of that nature. But our kids just kept fighting. They kept battling, and Sydney Terveen was tremendous in that fourth quarter. She hit a step-back 3, right by our bench in front of me, a really difficult shot. Got a couple takes to the basket, had, like I said, 11 points in the fourth quarter. And then what Ruby Moore was able to do in that last minute, coming down and just drilling that three-point shot, which was huge. We hop into our pressure. She's kind of a middle person in our pressure, and she read that pass that was going to be thrown in, and she jumped it, got her hands on the ball, and, was able to knock it in that little jumper. Just having great basketball IQ, just making huge basketball plays, when the lights were shining really bright. So, this just was a lot of things going on there, but, those two kids and a lot of other kids that did littler things too, that really allowed us to have opportunity to win that state championship game.
I'll tell you, the final minute was wild, and Ruby Moore, she scored 5 points in 8 seconds. Is there such thing as a clutch gene there? Do you believe that?
I think so. Man, she just never seems to get nervous. She runs her team, the floor general, and just has, like I said, really good basketball IQ. And these kids just, had the attitude, kind of refuse to lose. With Sydney making her shots, and then Ruby making those plays, and other kids doing what they needed to do to help us be successful. And they were just going to keep fighting to the bitter end, and just find a way to make huge basketball plays when it mattered down the stretch.
I'll tell you, what an accomplishment. I wanted to get you on. Congratulate you on another great year. Back-to-back titles for O'Gorman as the head girls coach, as Kent Colesrud on the Nate Brown Show tonight. 50 wins in a row. Book it. Coach, congrats. Thanks for coming on.
Yep, thank you, Nate. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate your time. Kent Colesrud, O'Gorman, head girls coach. Outstanding job. A lot of fun to watch over the weekend. That was a good basketball team. Really good basketball team. So O'Gorman wins another AA title, 50 wins in a row. That's quite something, and it'll continue into next year. Keep an eye on it. Who's hot and who's not? We're back with it on the Nate Brown Show. You know how Colorado wants to play somebody else for their spring game? I said South Dakota State should take them up on the offer. Hey, let's have the Jacks play Colorado for the spring game. Let's do it. I think we missed our shot. I'll tell you what I mean next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
How do you make a buffet day even better? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade is your place for good food and good times. Won the big game? Make it a play day. Aced your test? Make it a play day. Just need to get out of the house? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade has all your favorites and all kinds of fun. So bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team. For good food and good times, make it a buffet day and a play day at the Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade.
It was only a few in the beginning, one here, one there. I knew it was illegal, but I liked doing it. Even my kids noticed. There's nothing worse than your 10-year-old telling you you're breaking the law. But I didn't hit the breaking point until I hit that little kid.
Addiction has many faces. Texting and driving when you know it's life-threatening and illegal can be one of them. Take back control. Put the phone down.
Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety, the South Dakota Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Hi, this is Jeremy with Jerry's Cakes and Donuts, inviting you to kickstart your morning by dropping by and grabbing some fresh donuts. I want to thank you for voting us the best in the Black Hills. We're up early making your favorite donuts, so stop by and bring some to the office. Everybody loves Jerry's Cakes and Donuts, and we love you, so stop by, get a great selection, and brighten up your day. Serving Rapid City for over 40 years, Jerry's Cakes and Donuts at 109 East Omaha, and remember to like Jerry's on Facebook for some great giveaways.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. A winter weather advisory begins at 9 a.m. tomorrow and remains in effect until midnight tomorrow night. Mainly cloudy skies tonight with a slight chance of snow. Lows around 32, northeasterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. High of 37 tomorrow, snow likely. 3 to 5 inches of snow tomorrow through tomorrow night. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 53 degrees.
Whether you're a pro or a Joe, a weekend warrior or a gardening great, Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is here when you need us. Nobody plans an injury, but when people throughout the Black Hills and beyond suffer a setback, Monument Health Orthopedics is here to provide comprehensive medical care. Our team of board-certified orthopedic surgeons and specialists is dedicated to helping patients regain the quality of life they've lost due to an injury, arthritis, or joint wear and tear. Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for everyday athletes like you.
Chatting here with Ryan from Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail. All I know is where we live, boy, it's hard on vehicles.
That it is. We're here to take care of all your automotive needs.
I know you're an ASE and AAA approved repair facility. Well, what's that all mean?
It means we passed all the national requirements to be an authorized AAA automotive repair facility. Plus, our mechanics have passed thorough testing in all of the disciplines of auto repair to achieve their ASE certification.
Impressive.
So from oil changes to brakes and batteries, cooling, heating, or shocks and suspension, we're your answer.
A one-stop shop.
Absolutely. Plus, we carry over 50 brand name tires with deals as good as anywhere, and flat out the best brake deal around at just $399 per axle with new pads, rotors, labor, and a lifetime warranty for most vehicles.
That's an incredible brake deal.
You know, it really is.
Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail. The place to trust. Your complete AAA and ASE certified automotive repair specialist. See anytime.com and at the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk show.
All right, who's hot and who's not every night at this time on the Nate Brown Show, brought to you by the Pizza Ranch. 3809 East 10th Street, Sioux Falls, in Brandon as well, and 2 locations in Rapid City. Get to the Pizza Ranch Buffet, home of everyone's favorite buffet. Stay for the Fun Zone Arcade. Who's hot and who's not tonight? In my Who's Hot, I got to congratulate Bennett County girls basketball. They go to the Class B tournament in Huron. It's a good team. They knock off Centerville. They go on to win the state championship. First state championship in girls basketball since 1986. Courtesy of Matt Kearney and the researcher of the Nate Brown Show. Bennett County, state girls B champions. What a run, taking down Centerville, one of the top teams. In our Pizza Ranch, who's not tonight? Well, I said South Dakota State should take up Dion on his offer. He wants to play somebody for the spring game. He wants to do it. Everybody laughs. Syracuse is already doing it. Well, they want to. They said, we'll play him. Syracuse wants to play him. SDSU, you got to strike. When it's hot, you got to strike, man. Thanks for listening to the Nate Brown Show tonight. The podcast going up right now.
Looking for future leaders we can trust and believe in?